Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the last week of June. So what I'm talking about is June 22nd through the 30th. What can we expect? There is so much going on, and I know I left you hanging from the last video because everything is heating up and boiling over right now. It's a lot. So remember, in these predictions, I'm looking at where the planets are moving. I'm looking right here at my computer screen and moving it from day to day. And what I pretty much base this on is where the moon is going to be transiting relative to how all the other planets are to the moon. So this is what I'm talking about is Central Daylight Time. I'm here in Dallas, Texas, and yes, I want you to put down in the comments where you are watching from. I love to look at that and understand where everyone is around the world. And so I'm going to be talking about Central Standard Time, Daylight Time actually. We're on Daylight Savings Time. And the other thing is, this is all sidereal Vedic astrology. I do not do Western astrology. This is more specific because it is astronomically correct. So follow along with me as I go from day to day. And remember, if this is inspiring to you, if you want to know how this is affecting you personally, you're going to want my Galactic Planner. Because with the Galactic Planner, it takes all of what I'm doing, but it applies it to your personal chart. What planets are doing in your chart, what houses, what planets they're crossing over. This gives you predictions. And it's all delivered into your calendar on your phone or computer. Check it out, galacticplanner.com. Furthermore, I have one more thing to add. Sign up for my free newsletter. Go to galacticcenter.org and check out my Patreon page. It is a spiritual community of people. Check it out, see what it's all about. We meet weekly, live. And if you want to learn Vedic astrology, go to my university website, which is universityofvedicastrology.com. So starting with Sunday, June 22nd, we are looking at the moon around 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time. The moon moves into Taurus. And this is a good thing because Taurus is the sign of the moon's exaltation. The moon loves to be in Taurus. So looking at the moon in Taurus, it is starting to align with Uranus. This is treacherous because this will mean unexpected events could occur during this day. And I am noticing that Mars is square the moon today. So this is kind of a very hectic day. But I do like the moon being in Taurus. It's in the nakshatra Kritika, which means its symbol is a razor. And people become very, I should say, their tongue is like a knife. They will cut with their words. Be careful. Don't participate in this type of behavior. Let it roll off your back. They're angry. Mars is squaring the moon. Now, this is also a day where the Sun and Jupiter are so close together that Jupiter is definitely, totally combust the Sun. So that's not an easy thing. We don't have the benefit of Jupiter. And with this, I really think that traveling will be very difficult. Another deterrent to this day is while the moon, even though it's in a good sign, I think it's really hampered by the fact that it is a dark moon. The moon is behind the sun. It's one sign behind the sun. A dark moon. It is a time to be very introspective, But I feel like it's not a very good day for traveling because Jupiter in Gemini can deal with travels. It is combust the sun. This is not easy. Not easy at all. Now, another thing is people will be pretty obsessive compulsive around this time. And one more thing, today, on the 22nd, Mercury will move into Cancer. And as it goes into Cancer, people are going to feel a need for more security and protection. That's going to be where the thoughts are. And also, I do notice that the Sun is square the Saturn-Neptune today. A lot is going on. This is not an easy day. We are having world problems. Things are heated up. People are angry. Yes. And with the Sun square Neptune and Saturn, there are major problems across the world with leadership. The world is at odds with everyone. And now the Sun with Jupiter, they're both in Ardra, which represents major storms, literally and emotionally. Now let's move it up one day to Monday, June 23rd. And on this day, we have the moon in Taurus, but it will now be in the nakshatra Rohini. That is the moon's favorite nakshatra. It's a nakshatra that deals with great things in terms of appreciation for the arts, appreciation for the finer things in life, beauty, art, artistic things. That is Rohini. Jupiter, Sun are exactly conjunct. So there is something called Cassimi. Cassimi means when a planet is exactly conjunct the Sun. And when a planet is Cassimi, it becomes one with the Sun. So actually, this is like for a day or two that things are going to be much better, just for a day or two, but there's going to be like clarity for what's going on. That's what I'm seeing. So it's not that it's an easy day, but there's clarity. And yes, possibly the stock markets could go up. Things about the finances could go up, but it's very temporary. It may be a day or two. So I don't even know if that's going to occur. So, but on this day, on the 23rd, I do like the moon being in Rohini, even though there's chaos going all around. Let's go to Tuesday, June 24th. This is where the moon shifts from Taurus into Gemini. It will be in Gemini, and it's like, really, this is the day where the moon is aligning with the Sun. I know that the actual new moon doesn't literally happen here in Central Time Zone till the early mornings of June 25th. Therefore, it's going to look like the moon is full on the 24th, even though technically the 25th, early before we get up, there's the new moon. But you know, when there's a new moon, you don't see the moon, because that means the moon and the Sun are aligned. The moon is obliterated from the sky. But the moon is in the nakshatra Mrigashira, which is the nakshatra of searching, trying to find things, digging deep. And there is a search going on, let me just tell you, for something at this point in time. And it is a Baslamic moon, meaning it is behind the Sun. So it's a time of deep introspection. It is not a time to start anything new today, or even on the new moon, because the new moon is kind of too new, if you know what I mean. You need a little traction. But today is the dark moon. A lot is going on. And let's look forward to the next day. I'm looking at Wednesday, June 25th. It is the new moon today. The moon will be finally not behind the sun, but in front of the sun. So this starts the new moon phase, a whole new cycle. And I want you to know, though, that this new moon will occur exactly conjunct Jupiter. The sun and the moon will be 9 degrees of Gemini, and the moon will be, Jupiter will be 9 degrees of Gemini. Wow, that is complicated. Now you could say it's Cassimi, and Cassimi means, this new moon is one with Jupiter, but they're in Ardra. The new moon is in Ardra. This is the symbol of sadness. The symbol is a teardrop, and it's ruled by the storm god Rudra. So there are major catastrophes and wars and storms going on. That's what I really mean to say. I don't know, war came out of my mouth without me thinking about what I was saying, so you know how that is. Maybe the spirit's telling me to say that, but let me just say this. We're in war all over the place. There is even a war on words in the governments and politics. It's a crazy time. Politics didn't used to be like this. What is going on in the world? And while we're focused on the politics, we're missing the big picture of the damage done with major wars around the world. What is wrong with this planet? They can't find peace. They want to hate each other and destroy each other. What is wrong? That's what I'm seeing. So, looking at the 25th, this new moon in the nakshatra Ardra is dangerous. And like I said, there will be ferocious storms and things going on, literally and figuratively. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to make note of, and I've made note of this in all of my writing, is that Pluto is 9 degrees, while this new moon and Jupiter are 9 degrees. Pluto is 9 Capricorn, and they are 9 degrees Gemini. They're in a quincunx. This is one of the worst aspects for accidents and endings, death, problems, all sorts of things. And that's what Pluto rules. Endings, major transformations, death, problems. So look out. This new moon is setting the stage for something chaotic. Let's look at June 26. This is where the moon moves out of Ardra, still in Gemini most of the day, but it moves into the nakshatra Purnavasu. And Purnavasu means return of the light. Finally, after the storms, we have a sunny day. Thank goodness, we need that. This was dark. So this will shed a little light on things. And the sun is still affecting Jupiter, but we're getting a little bit more light. It's not perfect yet. But also I noticed on this day that Venus in K2 is casting a trine to Venus. Therefore, this is a good day for relationships, healing, love, marriage. And you may find that you run into an old flame, or someone calls you from before, or you're just simply thinking more about maybe what went wrong in an old relationship. And with that, it is time for you to heal and to learn from what you've gained from those previous experiences to apply it to healing in a relationship that you're currently in today. Okay, so let's move it forward to June 27th. This is a Friday. And looking at this day, the moon is in Cancer. Yes, the day before it was in Gemini, but it will move into Cancer probably in the evening the day before, but it's in Cancer the whole day, Friday, June 27th. And the moon will be in the nakshatra Pusha. Pusha is a nurturing nakshatra. But I gotta say this, the moon is aligned with Mercury, and when moon and Mercury come together, people are obsessive compulsive with their mind and their thinking. Quit overthinking everything. Just make a decision and move forward. But it's kind of impossible when the moon is with Mercury and even in the sign of Cancer. People will be out of their minds. It's true. The moon rules the mind. And when it's in Cancer, the mind is so intensified. And with Mercury with the moon in Cancer, I'm telling you, people can be a little bit crazy. Mentally, you know the word lunatic came from lunar. So watch this day. And for yourself, make decisions and stick with them and quit changing your mind. That's what happens when the moon and Mercury come together. You overthink things. Okay, so also on the 27th, we have Mercury is going to be in a perfect trinal aspect to Saturn, Neptune. So be clear with your thinking. I want you to think about things when you make a decision, because chances are you may be missing something. You may be a bit in a fog and not seeing clearly. All right, so another thing is what I'm seeing is communications will be very confused. So chances are you could be tricked. Be aware that there are people that do not have your best interest at heart. And now I'm looking at Saturday, June 28th. The moon is with Mercury still, because the moon is still in Cancer, but it has moved into the nakshatra called Astrology. Astrology is a treacherous nakshatra because its symbol is a snake, which represents sneaky people, sneaky, not being honest or truthful. And we have Mercury in this being aspected by a trine from Saturn, Neptune. So lay low and remember that people are not being honest and truthful. If somebody promises you something that's too good to be true, guess what? It is too good to be true. Don't go with it. Listen to your gut feeling. But you know, some people can talk it up or it sounds so good. You think, I'd be crazy not to do this. But listen to yourself and listen to all the red flags because they're there. All right, so let's move to Sunday, June 29th, when the moon is in Leo. So the moon's in Leo, and it is in the nakshatra called Magha. And Magha's symbol is a throne, represents kingship, leaders. But the moon is aligning with Mars, and people are very angry about some decisions that world leaders are making right now. That's what I see. And it is a very difficult time for making decisions for business. The moon is lining up with Mars, K2. Are you kidding? That's not a great thing. And Rahu is in the 7th house from the moon. Relationships are difficult today. I'm not saying they're terrible, but just rest assured things are not going easily. And what I'm noting here is where the moon is with Mars, this is actually forming another yod. And yods represent fated events. And this means something very fated is still coming out and happening. This is an incredibly difficult time in the world. And Jupiter and the Sun are still in the nakshatra Ardra, which represents storms. Now let's look at June 30th, the last day of June. We have the moon has crossed over Mars, but it is now in the nakshatra Purva Falguni. And this is a marriage nakshatra, deals with relationships. With Mars, moon in Purva Falguni, relationships are extraordinarily difficult today, especially since Rahu opposes the moon. And the moon will align with Ketu. This is not easy. Be aware, be cognizant that relationships are going to be difficult. People are going to come out of nowhere and attack. I just have to say, really, from June 27th through the 30th, lay low. It is bad for business, especially around the 29th and the 30th, because Mercury and Pluto are opposed to each other. Mercury is about communications. With Pluto, you can't trust what people are telling you these 2 days. So you must be very careful with what your decisions are and your actions. And still, well, the sun is giving Jupiter a little bit more breathing room. They're within 5 degrees of each other. So it's going to lift a little bit, but not much. But I will give you this. Yesterday and today, which is June 29th and 30th, Venus has shifted into Taurus. Now this is better for Venus because Venus deals with love and relationships. And with it being in Taurus, it rules Taurus. And Taurus is about love and beauty and nature and connecting to these type things, being more creative. So this will be pretty much for the next month. But I still see Venus lining up with Uranus. So things are still on edge. They're edgy. Things are not easy. And this concludes the month of June. But as I said before, I want you to realize all of this is very temporary. It's what has to happen in order to clear the air and bring us a new hope, a new vision, and a new world. That is coming. But we're not going to get there June and July because this is the purging. So just hunker down, lay low, take care of yourself, you'll be fine. And then we have some very good things ahead. But let's get through these 2 months and let's see what's exposed, what comes out, and how the world is going to heal from all of the darkness that has been brewing, and it's going to finally, the light will be shed. So do not worry. I know I've been very pessimistic because these planets aren't good, but this is what has to happen. So with that, I think I will close. Remember, if you want to learn more about me, go to my website, galacticcenter.org. And if you want to study with me, go to my university website, universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.